Hello traders, this is Tom with some Opteck. Good day to you all. Today it is the 21st of October 2013 and this is the daily market review for our traders in Opteck. As you can see, today we don't have a lot of announcements. Usually Mondays are um, they express a very low amount of liquidity. Again, we don't really care because in binary option we don't need an enormous movements on the chart to make profit, but we're not expecting to see a lot of liquidity in the market anyhow. After later on this trading day, we've got another announcement on the US dollar. That will be a very important announcement. As the time is passing by, we can see that the expression of the crisis that we had in the United States is fading, and we're expecting to see an uptrend on the indices. The futures are showing that the indices should climb up, and because of that, we should expect to see an uptrend on stocks and indices once the trade along the US market will begin. But again, I would definitely wait for the announcement to see if the expression will be strong enough and will we have a good indication according to our strategy. Let's go to the chart and let's see what's going on today. So first of all, as always, we're looking at the Japanese yen currencies. Let's fix the strength indication. We can say that generally the Japanese yen is losing strength. It is the weakest currency in the market at the moment. Let's see who's stronger. Australian dollar is among the strongest currencies. After that, the euro. Let's see if we've got something which is approximately the same strength. Yeah, we do. Canadian dollar and the pound. And it's a common status if we again refer to the idea of Mondays. When markets begin to reveal the strength, whether they open with an uptrend or a downtrend in terms of economy, then we can see that on the chart. We can say that the Australian dollar stays the strongest from the night session. The New Zealand is not as strong as the Australian dollar. The New Zealand is among the weakest currencies. It's approximately the same strength as the Japanese yen. So trading the New Zealand versus Japanese yen will be a mistake today. We can say that again, the Australian dollar, the euro, the Canadian dollar, and the pound are the strongest currencies. The Swiss franc is one of the strongest as well. The dollar is a bit weaker than all the others, and the New Zealand is definitely weaker. So, first of all, we can say that we don't have a lot of liquidity only by viewing this image. We don't have a lot of difference between the strongest currency and the weakest currency. In this, we can see that the indication is 49, almost 50. Over here, the Australian dollar is indicating 55, almost 56. We can say that the difference between the strongest currency and the weakest is approximately 6 points. Therefore, the amount of liquidity is not sufficient for us to trade on a variety of assets, but any kind of asset in front of the New Zealand will express good potential. And again, in front of the Japanese yen as well. So when we will have an indication on the Australian dollar, euro, Canadian dollar, pound, and even the Swiss franc toward an uptrend in front of the Japanese yen, we will have a good trade on that. Again, wait for the indicators to indicate a potential for that movement. Over here, the Australian dollar, we can see that the RSI is higher, it's 55. The stochastic dropped down, but not sufficient downtrend over here. I will express to see a bit more weakness in order for me to join an uptrend movement. But anyway, you can see that generally the market is not forming a very clear and strong pattern higher, but doing that with a bit of an uptrend, a bit of a downtrend. It shows that the amount of liquidity is definitely very, very low. Again, to avoid risking your funds in trades that possess low amount of potential, look at a strength indication. Just for the example, let's go and see what's going on with the Australian dollar in front of the New Zealand. I'm sure that we will see a strong movement toward the Australian dollar. stronger Australian dollar in front of the New Zealand. There we go. Okay, so you can see very nicely that we've got a very long and strong movement. That's a clean movement, that's a logical movement, and we had an amazing trade over here with a great entrance point using our indicators. Again, if you're not familiar with our strategy, you've got the brokers that will help you, and we've got webinars that will help you to understand the logic behind the system and how to apply trades on our platform. Again, good trade we had over here, only based on the strength indication. I knew that that would deliver a good trade, and indeed we can see the Australian dollar significantly stronger than New Zealand, and because of that we can see a clean structure of one of our indications. Another good trade should appear on the euro versus the New Zealand. Let's see that one. Euro versus the New Zealand. I'm pretty sure that we will see strong movement on that one as well. Oh, sorry, that was my mistake. Let's look at all the other currencies, and we will see again along the way. We will see the euro versus the New Zealand. I think that I've got it over here. Euro versus the New Zealand. No, I don't. Let me try to open that once again. Again, only according to the idea of strength and weakness, we can say that the euro is presenting a sufficient strength in front of the weakness of the New Zealand. Because of that, again, we are expecting to see an uptrend over here, and indeed that's what happened. Let's see if we had a good trade over here. No, I can't say that we did. Maybe over here and this one, but we did not receive weakness on this perspective over here, and unfortunately that wasn't a signal according to our strategy. But anyway, you had several good signals. Let's go and see what is our expectation later on for this trading day. On-demand instruments, I'm always analyzing them at the beginning, and then I'm going to analyze the commodities. So again, Australian dollar, New Zealand, we've talked about it just a second ago. Stochastic at the place, RSI 2, nice image of impulse movement climbing up, choppy overlapping movement dropping down. A good potential for a call option was here approximately 2 hours ago. Over here we've got a new indication. Now pay attention to this specific pattern. Euro versus the Australian dollar. We can say that the market is bouncing between a specific channel. Definitely bouncing between a specific channel, and we're expecting it to continue the same movement, meaning that we're expecting the Australian dollar to lose strength a bit right now and the euro to gain more strength. But unfortunately, as I said, taking a trade once the two currencies, the euro and the Australian dollar, are presenting approximately the same strength in front of the Japanese yen will be equivalent to gambling. And that is not our trades. We're trying to locate the better probability in the market, and in this case that wouldn't be a preferable trade, although the indicators are indicating a good potential for a downtrend over here. Australian dollar versus the US dollar. We've got some logic with this trade. We said that the dollar is among the weakest currencies and the Australian dollar is the strongest at the moment. So a good trade for a call option. For those of you who are in the room at the moment, you can participate in that one. We've got a cross, we've got our SI at the position. But for those of you who will see the recording later on, let's analyze the dollar versus the Australian dollar for the long term. As you can see, we can see a very nice image of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 uptrend in an impulse movement, and we've got an A dropping down, a B climbing up, and a C potential drop down before we will continue. So if we will stay around this level, around this rate, before the announcement, I'm expecting the dollar to gain a bit strength, to pull this chart lower, and then we will continue higher after. I assume that it will happen after today's session, but who knows? Just only later on I will be able to analyze this structure. But at the moment, we need another downtrend movement before we will climb higher. So any kind of potential for a downtrend movement will be logical, and then we will have another pullback on the stochastic, and then we'll be able to rejoin a continuance of an uptrend. Australian dollar versus Japanese yen, we've talked about that. It did not reach an exhausted level as we were expecting it to. So let's continue with the analysis. No trade over here. We had something over here. That's the euro versus Japanese yen. We said that the euro is significantly stronger than the Japanese yen. A good indication over here. Another pullback down will allow us to rejoin this uptrend movement. Not right now. Nothing over here. Nothing over here. Gold is presenting a very bad situation. Usually that happens once the market is just bouncing sideways. It pulls the RSI lower to the untradable area, and that's a good warning sign for us, even if we weren't looking at the chart. Let's say that we were looking at a chart like this. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes when we're analyzing a bunch of charts one after the other, we're not concentrated with this fact. But this RSI, which is very close to the 50 level, is indicating that generally the market is in a system of a corrective sideways pattern. And in this case, obviously, I will avoid trading this asset because, as you can see, there's no stronger position toward a specific direction. Now, we know that there's an announcement regarding the US dollar later on this session day, and this trading session, sorry, and because of that, I do expect to see movement occurring on the gold. Any kind of confidence that will be delivered to the public will be expressed through the chart of the gold and the chart of the silver, as I'm always presenting both of them. At the moment, the silver is stronger than the gold. We can see that while the gold pulled the chart to a sideways correction, the silver managed to pull the chart a bit higher. And this is why, again, I do expect this chart to climb a bit more, and that would be a good trade for a call option. Another trade for a call option, we've talked about that, Australian dollar versus the US dollar. You can say that it's looking very nicely on the indicators. And we've analyzed the gold and the silver, the commodities. Let's look at the euro. The euro is very interesting because it's one of the strongest currencies. Maybe we will find a good potential for an expression of a stronger euro in the market. Again, euro versus Australian dollar looking like a put option, but it's not a good option because the euro and the Australian dollar are approximately the same strength. So we'll leave it alone until we will see a better perspective over there. We're approaching a good signal over here on the euro versus the Turkish currency. As you can see, the stochastic is on its way down, exhausting the downtrend movement, while the RSI is way higher. That's a good perspective for a continuance of an uptrend. For those of you who want to take trades with a larger amount of risk, I would wait for the stochastic to drop down to give me a cross. But for those of you who want to wait a bit more in order for them to receive a confirmation for that one, then you'll be able to catch it once the market will cross this trend line. A trend line above the entire corrective pattern is definitely an indication for a variety of traders to join that specific movement, and because of that, once we will cross this trend line, then we will have a larger amount of traders, larger amount of funds driven in toward the same direction, and that's exactly the perspective that we need in binary option trading. Let's see if we've got another potential. Again, the euro should be one of the strongest currencies, and because of that I do expect it to deliver another potential, but as you can see, the charts are not allowing me to do that. As I said at the beginning of the session, I told you that the market is generally in a corrective pattern. It's lowing, it's showing a very low amount of liquidity, and that perspective is viewed through the chart, through the perspective in front of the Japanese yen, and through every chart that we've already analyzed. So generally the market is suffering from low liquidity, but we do have several good opportunities using them in the binary option market. From here, from Opteck, I wish you all the best with your trades. And again, I always remind you, you've got brokers, they've got a huge amount of experience. They'll be able to assist you with anything that you need with our strategy, with your trades, analyzing your psychological expression and your reaction to losing trades. You may need some assistance with that one. And understanding how you can apply the strategy correctly on the charts. All the best. Has a pleasant day, and bye bye.